what would you say about what I shared for the men who feel either unwilling or unable to show up for that commitment?
Well, the way I can answer that is that, first of all, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I really don't. I know that's obvious. I don't know what it's like to be a woman, but I want to
Mhm.
speak to every woman's heart right now. So please hear me.
Yes.
I ask for your permission for me to speak directly to your heart. I want to pierce all the way through the wounds, the conditioning, the stories, the hurt, the trauma, all the crunchy stuff. Let me just touch the softest part of your heart, if I may.
You have permission.
What we need as men is
Mm.
we need to see and feel and be in union with that softness in your heart. When you
Mm.
close your heart to us for reasons that are valid, I get it. When you
Mhm.
close your heart to us, it allows for the Grand Canyon to be created between us. Yes, it works for us too, but you gave me permission, so I'm just speaking to you right now. What we need as men to show up for you, we need to be able to be in union and in dance and in feel the fabric of the softness of your heart in our fingertips.
Mm.
That's what we need. Because when we don't have that on an energetic level, on a subtle energy level, we will not show up for you. It's so hard. It is the hardest thing to show up for you when we cannot touch the core rosebud essence of your heart. We just can't. Because what's the motivation for us? That we're just going to continue to get the castle wall, that we're going to continue to get the subtle and sometimes major rejection of that. And I get it. I get why you've closed in your heart. I fucking understand
Mhm.
because you have been hurt. You have opened your heart and you have given a man that softness and he has trampled all over it. He
Mhm.
has trampled all over it. So I
Mhm.
understand why you have closed it. But here's the reality. The more you choose to close it, the more you're going to receive what you don't want from us, which is our retreat. It is
Mm.
our lack of presence. It is our lack of breath. It is all the things you don't want, but it starts with you. And this is a shitty deal. I get it. And that's why I said, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to be penetrated. I don't know what it's like to open up my physical body and my heart and be heartbroken in that way, like a woman. I have no idea. I'm not going to sit here and fucking pretend,
Mhm.
but I do know what it's like as a man to have a broken heart. I do know what it's like as a man to feel that no matter how hard I try, that I can never penetrate you
Mhm.
because the wounds of the past are completely clouding the wisdom of what the moment wants. The wisdom of what the moment wants is chaos seeking order. And this is our shared work to do together. So that's first
Mm.
and foremost how I could address the men.
Mm.
So with that as a platform, then from that space where the man, because there's all this talk, right? There's a lot of talk about women feeling safe. And I get that. That's
Mhm.
100% valid. But
Mhm.
we need to feel safe as men too. We're a
Mhm.
fucking human being with feminine energy inside of us.
Mhm.
And so that space in our hearts, this is why the whole red pill movement has been created.
Mm.
This is why Andrew Tate and David Goggins and all these like hyper vigilant masculine men are super powerful right now, is because there is such a deep wound in us as men.
Mhm.
There's such a deep wound in us as men where we have been closed off from a woman's heart. We have been used and abused. There's a call to healing for both sides. Neither men nor women have shared greater pain. Maybe women
Mhm.
actually have when you look at the darker side of the patriarchy for sure, but especially in this world we're in now. I
Mhm.
can't name one friend who hasn't been through a dynamic with a woman where he either wasn't cheated on, where she closed her heart and made up reasons and projected her stuff to where they broke up. Like that's just the circles I run in. I'm not an average
Mhm.
man. I don't like to drink and party on weekends. Like I find myself just committed to other things. So in
Mhm.
my circles, there's more men that are committed to being balanced, masculine, feminine. And so
Mhm.
what happens is we seek out women that can be our teachers,
Mhm.
whether it's twin flame or soulmate. So I had to start that answer in the way you asked it, and that was, what do men need to know? Well, that's
Mhm.
what do woo men need to know as well. So if
Mm.
we're going to be committed to showing up for you and promising you that we will do the very, very best to honor that part of your heart that has been so hurt before, that has been
Mhm.
so trampled on before, it's the reason why you don't open up to us, is
Mhm.
because unconscious men have shit all over that part of you
Mhm.
because they were wounded themselves and were never taught by their mothers or
Mhm.
their fathers how to actually honor a woman.
Mhm.
That's the conversation that needs to be had. And then from that place of shared vulnerability, where she
Mhm.
can come to him and say, I've been really hurt in the past. I'm
Mhm.
super fearful to open up that part of you that I know the core of your masculine needs, for it to feel safe, I
Mm-hmm.
know you need my full heart. I know you need to feel the softest part of me as a woman so that you feel safe as a man, that
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go fuck someone else, or that I'm not disinterested in the relationship, or that I'm not giving you the love and the respect and the fullness that you deserve in a relationship. I get that. And it's up to the man to co-regulate, right? To
Mm-hmm.
co-create. It's not just a spiritual word, co-creation and co-regulation. It's a real spell that we cast on each other. Like, I'm committed to co-regulating with you. And that means we have an altar of shared vulnerability. We both kneel at the altar of shared vulnerability. And at that altar, you open up to me and you say, here's what I'm afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what happens in my body. Speak from the I, nonviolent communication. I feel this. I feel shut down. I feel scared. I feel this way. Great. Okay. Curiously, the man could respond, how can I talk to that part of you? And how can I make that part of you understand that I'm committed to loving that part of you, that I'm committed to understanding that part of you? And even if I don't understand that part of you, that I'm not going anywhere and that I got you and you're safe. Like, I can even feel the feminine in me relax when I talk like
Mm-hmm.
that. And then for
Mm-hmm.
her going the other way, how can I give him my full heart? No fucking holding back. How can I
Mm-hmm.
give him how can I give him my sex, my energy, my time, my press, all the things that I'm demanding from him that
Mm-hmm.
I want? How can I give him the very thing that I'm demanding from him that he gives to me? When really what's going on, most likely, is that
Mm-hmm.
he's truly doing the best he can to meet the demands of the modern feminine. She's operating from a space of closing her heart, and rightly so, because she's been hurt
Mm-hmm.
in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so, really, what we need is to put down the shields, put down the swords, come to the altar of shared vulnerability and say, here are my wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please honor my wounds? Here are my wounds. Can you please honor my wounds? Now that we have this honoring of our wounds, can we do the work to co-regulate and to move forward together? Because we do both want the same thing. We really do. And can we honor each other in this process as we move forward? That we know it'll be crunchy. We know we'll fight again. We know things will get hard, but can we at least, for the love of God, can we just have this third portion of a commitment to co-regulation and an
Mm-hmm.
honoring at this altar of vulnerability and humility, that
Mm-hmm.
the man and the woman don't have it figured out. They
Yeah.
don't. And we're always projecting our shit onto everybody. I don't care how fucking enlightened you are. I know some of the most enlightened people here in Austin that are multimillionaires, and they're
Yeah.
sharing the same shit we are.
Yeah.
So I think really what this is, it's a call to put down the arms, to
Yeah.
drop the shield, to drop the weapons, for women to practice being in their full heart and
Mm-hmm.
articulating what safety in their full heart to their man actually is, not
Mm-hmm.
from shame and blame. And this is the key.
Not from shame and
If
blame.
she opens her heart and it feels like he tramples on it, or it feels like he doesn't respect it, she she can choose to close it. But I'm going to tell you the results you're going to get when you snap close your heart like a Venus flytrap. And when you
Mm-hmm.
start pointing at your man, all it's going to do is drive him away from you. That's all it's going to
Mm-hmm.
do. Now, for
Mm-hmm.
the man, he has to be awakened, and he has to notice and be attuned to when a woman's heart is closing. And he has to have the language to
Mm-hmm.
tune in and say, hey, babe, I'm feeling in our space that there's a bit of a disconnect. What can I do to bring us closer together? You see how that's about I'm feeling and we? If I told her, hey, I'm noticing that your heart is closed. What's up? The fuck's that going to do? That's not going to do anything, right? That's actually going to make her close her heart more.
Yeah.
So this is a nuanced process that we're all working through, and I'm working through it too. But like, I almost cried there when I was telling you that, because it's so
Mm-hmm.
fucking beautiful. It's so
Yeah.
fucking beautiful, this shared reality of co-creation and co-regulation with the breath and the presence. Like, it's not easy, but it's so important, for all of us to really, this is the most important thing we can do. My
Yeah.
son and my daughter are watching every move that we make,
Yeah.
and it's being baked into their deep cortex and their amygdala. It's how they're going to relate to their woman and their man in the future. No pressure. We have 7 years. We have 7 years before the hemispheres start really connecting. We have 25 to 28 years before the PFC and the structures are completely baked.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our responsibility as parents, you and I, and for all
Mm-hmm.
the dads and moms listening. Like, if you don't want to do it for you, or if you're having issues of self-love, like, yes, work with a coach on self-love and do the inner work, but do it for your fucking children. Do it
Yeah.
for your children, not out of shame or blame, but because you love them so much. The greatest gift you could ever give your children is that you work on yourself. You work on being in relation with your man, with your woman, that is how they see the world. A child knows the world through a mother's perspective. And a child knows the world through a man's perspective as well. That's why there's this call to masculine and feminine integration. So unless we do our work as parents to really let this embody, not just fucking topical mental shit, but really, really embody this, like in us, in ourselves, then all we're doing is, to quote Alan Watts, we're just all wretch and no vomit. We're training their children to train their children to train their children, so that this epigenetic wounding will be continually expressed. And then 5 generations from now, they'll be the one. You and I are the one. We're the one. We're not better. We're not cool. It's actually a really hard path. It's not even sexy. When you're the one, it sucks. Look at Neo in the Matrix. He was the one. Look at all the pain and torment he had to go through before he put his hand up and just said, no, like, no, I won't fucking do this anymore. Like, I will not project my father and my mother onto you anymore. This is not a game I'm interested in playing. I'm not interested in playing this game. And I know you aren't either. So let me as a man lead this relationship and lead us to a place where we don't have to play that game anymore, where we can actually create a new game. And the new game is co-regulation, breath, and presence, and knowing how to repair with nonviolent communication. These are all the fucking most important things that are never taught in school, and they're never modeled by parents unless your parents are super conscious. This is the call to arms. So if this is resonating with you, stand the fuck up and claim ownership of these models of being and own them and make this your life's work. Because if we don't do this, what's going to happen is all the models of control and narrative out there, social media, technocrats, they're going to take over. It doesn't come from fighting. Revolution doesn't come from war. Revolution comes from interchange. That's where all revolution comes from. So thank you for letting me share that, because damn, it's important. It's so important that we all get that this is a two-way street, and that men and women, there actually is no such thing as the war of the sexes. It doesn't fucking exist. Yeah. It's just that our unconscious and our egoic mind loves to make it exist so that it can feel validated and right and safe. But I'm going to tell you, there's a different place where you can feel safe from, that has no finger pointing and no making the other person wrong. That's true safety. Pseudo safety is when you make the other person wrong and you believe the egoic mind narrative. That's not real safety. That's temporary safety. And then when that goes away, then people go to porn or sex or shopping or overworking and other ways to fill the hole of the hungry ghost. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Click the link if you want to watch the full episode, and I will see you in the next video.